like if I steer first and then I rip the e-brake, I'm drifting. It's that simple. What's going on, everybody? This is my 2003 Mazda Protege. It is a front-wheel drive car. Super snowy out, so we're gonna go drifting. I'm gonna teach you how to drift a front-wheel drive car. First thing, obviously, is a seatbelt. You never know, you hit a snowbank, you could be going pretty fast. Which in the snow, typically, you don't want to be going that fast. You want to have a more controlled drift. You want to be able to control your car. It's kind of the main thing there. That's mainly what drifting is about, is control. But a lot of people say you can't drift with a front-wheel drive car. But if you have a handbrake right here on the side, you should have no problems drifting a front-wheel drive. So to prepare to go drifting in the snow, you need a shovel, 100%. I recommend a jacket. If you get blown off the road or something like that, and there's no way you can get a hold of somebody, say there's no service or something like that, or your phone's about to die, definitely would recommend a jacket and a shovel, just in case. Because you don't want to be walking home, I'll tell you that much. And the same thing with your phone. You want your phone to be well charged as well. You don't want to be going out here with like no phone. I mean, I guess you could do whatever you'd like. I'm not gonna tell you can't, but I would recommend you having a nice charged phone just in case something like that does happen. So the first thing when it comes to drifting, and kind of a main thing, is just control. If you feel like you're going too fast, or you're in too low or too high of a gear, and you rip the e-brake, nothing happens, or say something does happen like that, you know, I jerked the wheel a little bit so I lost control. But if you don't have control of your car, and whatever speed you're going, you don't feel comfortable controlling it, don't do it. Just work your way up there. It takes time to get there. I am no master myself. I'm not saying I can go 60 miles an hour around a corner and rip an e-brake right now. Absolutely not. But, you know, going around corners like this, something easy, that's, I find quite a bit of enjoyment in that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, I mean, if you like the adrenaline rush of doing 60 miles an hour and about breaking your car, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you, like I was saying, but I wouldn't advise it, because you're probably gonna be without a car eventually. Another thing when you're drifting, another main thing when you're drifting is you want to be as safe as possible. You don't, like I said, you don't want to go off the road. You don't want to walk home, I'll tell you that much. And the thing with a front wheel drive car is you just gotta like be ready for it. Like, just be ready for what's gonna happen. Because I can rip an e-brake and have nothing happen at all, but if I know how to, like, if I steer first and then I rip the e-brake, I'm drifting. It's that simple. And if you're drifting a front wheel drive, or you don't think you can drift a front wheel drive, don't be afraid to hold the e-brake for a little while. Like my buddy, he's got an Eclipse, and We went out drifting for a little bit, and he just wasn't holding the e-brake enough in the beginning. He also doesn't have the greatest tires, but he just didn't hold the e-brake enough in the beginning. So when I was telling him, like, you know, start ripping your e-brake and don't be afraid to hold it for a little while, it was much smoother, it was much better. I'm not saying I'm a master at drifting, because I'm definitely not. I definitely have a lot of room for improvement. But I know the basics, and that's really all you gotta know to have a little fun. You can do whatever you'd like I was saying. You know, I'm not gonna stop you if you wanna head around this corner right here, blind. 50 miles an hour. Then rip the e-brake. I guess you can do what you ought to do to have fun. But definitely being safe is probably the number 2 next to control. But control kind of falls in line with being safe. If you have control of your car at any speed, like if you're comfortable at doing this speed, like I'm comfortable doing 30. I don't gotta go much faster than that. I'm in no rush to go anywhere right now. I could speed it up a little bit, but there's not really any point. But if you have control over your car, then you should be safe. I'm not gonna say you are safe, but you should be safe. Especially if you're out drifting, you're learning your car the more you drive it, like this anyways. Like I was saying, don't be afraid to hold your e-brake, but this one thing I've noticed with front wheel drive drifting, you know, I have my Subaru. I do make videos on that. It's a Subaru SCI. If you want to watch that, I'll link a video to one of my POV drives in the summertime with that car. But unfortunately, that car is down for a little bit of maintenance. But anyways, like I was saying, so one thing I've noticed with front wheel drive that you can't do with all wheel drive as well is you can drift really slow and have a lot of control. So if I'm doing 5 miles an hour right now, going sideways, which is nice, and I do like that aspect, but with my Subaru, you can go much faster and drift, but sometimes it feels less controlled. You can hit your gas and hit the e-brake at the same time, and you will just slide, so it doesn't matter. And I feel like that's probably all front wheel drive cars. I've only had to clutch kick maybe once to save myself from something I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna go off here if I don't do something. As with my Subaru, I feel like you have to clutch kick quite often to keep the tires spinning. Otherwise, because I have a turbo, I spool too low, I'm putting too much load on too low of RPMs, I could blow my engine. I'm obviously not trying to blow my engine. But with this car, you can use a lot less gas, and it'll still get you there if you're holding your e-brake. See, I wouldn't really go around a blind corner either. That's the thing, I really wouldn't do that. Wait till you can see, wait till you have visibility. Once you have visibility, you go ahead and have fun. I will say though, it's definitely a lot more fun drifting in the snow with a front wheel drive car than people make it out to be. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you can't have fun with a front wheel drive. Well, you can just do reverse donuts and all this shit. I personally do not like doing reverse donuts. That's the stupidest thing ever. I do not fuck with it. Maybe, yeah, obviously I've done it once or twice, but in my opinion, I think gripping an e-brake and holding an angle is a lot more fun than that. See, the main thing in drifting is control. No matter what you're driving with, rear wheel drive, front wheel drive, all wheel drive, you need to have control of the car. Whoops. You know, another thing that comes with control as well is your inputs. So if I have smooth inputs, I'm gonna have smooth outputs. So if I wanna have a nice, clean, smooth drift, I gotta have a nice, clean, smooth wheel. If I want it to like be a little choppy like this, that's what's gonna happen, is my drift's gonna be a little choppy. Which makes sense because this input sends an output to the car. So, you know, maybe it's not as fun as a rear wheel drive. It's about just as fun as an all wheel drive though, I'm gonna be honest. All wheel drive and front wheel drive is just a completely different game. And I imagine rear wheel drive is the exact same thing. But they're all completely different. But you can't say you can drift with two and not the other. You can't say you can just drift with rear wheel drive and you can't drift with all wheel drive and you can't drift with front wheel drive. You can drift with whatever the hell you want if you want the truth. If you want to drift with a go-kart, you can drift with a go-kart. You want to drift with a four-wheeler, obviously you can drift with a four-wheeler. Front-wheel drive 2003 Mazda Protege, you can do that too. I'm sure your parents' minivan, if they have an e-brake, I'm sure that it can drift. Now, one of those foot e-brakes, that scares me a little bit, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then I know those little button e-brakes on the newer cars, yeah, definitely could be a little harder, that's for sure, but I know it's doable. It's definitely, I'm gonna say it's definitely more fun with a handbrake right here though, a conventional handbrake. But it's definitely doable, so don't let people tell you you can't do it. That is gonna conclude this video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like. If you want more content like this, tell me, and you got it.